Port of Pensacola was established in 1559. Well, at least that's when the first ships sailed into Pensacola Bay. Pensacola Bay is unique because it has a deep port, which is unusual along this area of the Gulf Coast. It's a natural deep port that doesn't have to be dredged like the other ports do. I'm at the Old Christ Church at the site of Seville Square. The Old Christ Church was built in 1832. It's one of the oldest churches. In fact, I've heard it is the oldest church building in all of Florida. It's often used for weddings, although they don't have services here anymore. It has all the architectural features that you'd expect of a church built in 1832. The old Spanish fort that was here, and then also other British and French were also occupying this fort at different decades, was underneath us right now. This is where the commanding officer's building was, right here to my right. And over here, just a few spaces further, is the outdoor kitchen that was located at the fort. You see the foundation of the fort that has been exposed through some archaeological digs, and you can see that they have ongoing archaeological digs. Here's some posts and strings that have been put in so that they can keep track of where they find certain things. I saw a dig out here just a few weeks ago, here in this grassy area. They were doing an archaeological dig. So Pensacola has a rich past, and they're still unearthing it. I knew T.T. Wentworth, or at least I met him when I was a child. He collected everything, especially things of historical significance. And in this collection, as it evolved, people started coming to see his collection, and he had a building just for his collection. And then, before he passed away, all of his collection was moved here to the official T.T. Wentworth Museum. It was once a county courthouse for Escambia County. Now, there is an exhibit going on here at the T.T. Wentworth Museum. Pensacola is known as the City of Five Flags, and that's the exhibit going on here now. Do you know why? It's because the five flags are 5 different countries which have had ownership of Pensacola over the years. Here's what they are: Spanish, English, French, Confederacy, and the United States. And they kind of switched hands throughout the history, going from one country to the other. This is definitely a must-see if you come to the city of Pensacola. A monument to Andrew Jackson himself. And at this spot, Andrew Jackson received West Florida from Spain and raised the flag of the United States in 1821. So it goes into detail of all the places, the countries rather, that have owned Northwest Florida, particularly Pensacola. We're at Plaza Ferdinand, and Plaza Ferdinand is known as the spot where Andrew Jackson took control of Florida from the Spanish. It's a neat place to enjoy a lunch. There's nice magnolia trees, and of course, the historical significance. It's at the corners of Government Street and Palafox. All right. Across the street from the Andrew Jackson Monument at Ferdinand Plaza is Jackson's Steakhouse. Jackson's Steakhouse is a famous spot here in Pensacola, owned by Irv Jackson. I don't know what Irv Jackson would think about these cannons pointed straight at his restaurant. These cannons are legit. They were unearthed here in Pensacola as they were doing excavations for building new buildings or other things. And the reason that they were buried is because as an army was retreating, especially if they were retreating in haste, they would intentionally bury cannons so that the oncoming army would not be able to confiscate them and use them against the other army. Pensacola loves its history, and so these cannons are displayed here at the park. That's good. Also at Ferdinand Plaza is several buildings of historic significance and cultural significance. Behind me is the original fire station for Pensacola. You can even see the mural that's painted on the wall. Another thing, and that's at the Art Center. This is the Art Museum that is over here behind me. And then this is the famed Pensacola Little Theater, which is at the Pensacola Cultural Center. All kinds of things that go on here, from ballet to acting classes and other acting events. There's also a restaurant in here called the Portobello Market. So a lot of neat things here just within walking distance of the Ferdinand Plaza. There are a few places to enjoy a good ball game than the Pensacola Wahoos Stadium down in downtown Pensacola. You can see the water to the background. It overlooks the bay. Every once in a while, a ball will fly out of the stadium and end up in the water. That's how close we are. It's a brand new stadium. And this place, all the ball games I have been to, they're very family friendly. They have low price tickets and they have great service. I mean, everybody that works here really wants to make sure that you have a great experience when you're here. I think that the experience I'm getting right now, however, is a little lacking. Where is everybody? How can someone not love Pensacola? We have jets. Jets come through here because of the Naval Air Station, which is just a little to the south of us now. We're here at the ballpark, and there's some big grassy areas that you can come out here anytime you want, have a picnic, enjoy throwing frisbee with your kids. It's a really good place. Immediately next to the Blue Wahoo Stadium is the Randall K. and Martha A. Hunter Amphitheater. It's state-of-the-art, built just a couple of years ago, and it has the beautiful Pensacola Bay behind it as a backdrop. A large stage with a brick front and also a large grassy area. Participants can watch the show as well as enjoy the breeze coming off the bay. Joe Patti started his seafood business in 1935 with this boat right behind me. Since then, it has grown to be one of the largest distributors of seafood on the Gulf Coast, maybe in the Southeast. It's known throughout the country as being a place to get seafood. If you're in the restaurant business, you may have heard this name before. So let's go check out their operation. As you can see, the whole operation has changed a whole lot since then. Joe Patti's has grown to a fleet of large fishing vessels which bring in the shrimp, the mullet, the snapper, the grouper, anything you can get out of the bay and eat, or the Gulf and eat. It can be purchased here and comes in off this dock, off these boats. All right, well, I'm here with Mr. Frank here at Joe Patti's right now. And he owns it, he runs it. Mr. Frank, how long has Joe Patti's been open?
Well, in some form or another with the name since 1930.
Right. And so you have a huge operation. How far away do you ship to?
Anywhere in the United States and Puerto Rico and Canada.
Okay. And what do you ship most of?
It's really an assortment of everything. You know, I'm surprised at what people order, customers order, but they'll surprise me every time, and it's across the spectrum.